Understanding of business is paramount for you to be able to build and execute against this. Unlike the mentor-mentee model and the team leader model, you've got to have deep pockets to get this off the ground, as you would with any startup. You're going to need to pay employees no matter what the local market is doing. People are going to need to be incentivized. So when you close deals, that will go into a reserve or a pocket fund so that it can be equally dispersed month over month to keep people fed while they're out there working. It is very difficult to do it, and if you don't have the capital to get yourself started or enough deals closed to get you through the leaner times, because it is not typical to close every single week or every single month inside of real estate. You might go 2 or 3 months and then boom, all the business unlocks and you've got 3, 4 deals that are closing to keep yourself on a nice average. But if you're not set up to support those gaps and the ebbs and the flows of how the real estate business works in and out of market, this model won't work for you. So now let's talk about outside of the models, what you've got to be able to do to run any of this efficiently. First and foremost, I got to tell you, developing a business plan and understanding how to budget is key. The management of a real estate team's business is very different than running a solo real estate operation for yourself. You got to create plans for what you need, how you're going to pay for it, what you're going to do with the revenue that's generated. You're going to need help creating the real estate business plan itself. You don't have to worry about dealing with fees or how you're going to collect the fee structure inside of the organization. The brokerage takes care of that, and that's how you take care of the brokerage. So understand, they still hold all of the liability and responsibility for all of you as agents and as an independent company running inside of their organization. So make sure to take care of your brokerage. There are some really good articles out there that I can point to of how you want to take care of it. There's how you write a real estate business plan. There's how you create a real estate brokerage budget and how you estimate real estate brokerage expenses out there. If you're interested in any of those articles, please ping me directly or put notes in the captions below, and I'm happy to send it out to you in our messaging structure. Then you need to decide on a compensation model. Instead of splitting commissions solely with the managing broker, the real estate team splits it with the members of their team. This is a collective split agreement, and you need to make sure the contract is in place and that agreement is in writing so that it can be facilitated and orchestrated against. Fights are going to happen. The Beatles were great until they were not a band any longer. You want to make absolutely sure that if the band breaks up, you still have a managing broker that can step in and make sure there was a written agreement in place to make sure everybody is still managed correctly. So you don't lose some key band members if there's ever a fight with the lead singer. Your junior agents aren't going to get the majority of the split. They're going to be taken care of, kind of like a tipping system that you would deal with in a restaurant. You want to make sure all of the people in the team are winning every time a deal is closed. So no standard split for a team with a broker. It's usually going to be similar to a split percentage or a typical solo agent. So you want to be careful of that. Make sure your broker manager knows exactly how you plan to model them getting their compensation and how you're going to be able to take care of your team members. What's a cap and what's the difference? Typically, about 90% of the collective cap of a group of licensed agents is about the same size as the team. So why the discount? Why do it at all? For the same reason that it's cheaper for you to buy toilet paper in bulk, for example, real estate brokers are usually willing to give up a little bit of their top line commission income in order to have a better chance of making the bottom line commission income. That's a security that a real estate team really provides. Mass swarm against a common effort is typically much more effective. It helps keep all of the people motivated, helps give them someone to lean on, and it's not just a one-to-one perspective. You got a team leader or you got a group ownership that's going on, and everybody knows how to work well together or work with the different personalities based on what they're working on at any given time in a transaction that'll help keep them moving forward at all times. It's about always keeping the team moving forward, always keeping the team generated interest in the common goal. The guidelines for split ranges, we could go on for days talking about that. But as a starting point, you want to talk about, what do you offer a new team member? What do you offer a senior team member? And how are you taking care of your number one producers, right? The bigger your team is, the more you're going to make sure that's very well structured. Again, put it in writing and keep those scales nice and clean to make sure that your brokerage can support it and you can actually manage it. Technology and communications stack. I don't care which model you choose. Your toolbox can make or break your team. So you need to remember, your team members are not going to rise to the level of your combined talents, but they will sink to the level of your systems. The right software is going to make it so much easier for you to recruit new agents, and more importantly, reduce the stress and confusion that you're going to constantly go through while you're not just chasing new real estate leads, you're chasing people that are going to chase new real estate leads. There are some great tools out there designed for specific teams. They're not cheap, but they will set you up new accounts for as few as 2 team members. And then from there, you can scale it. As far as communications are concerned, you're going to need to step outside of just texting. Here at Keystone, we actually use the WhatsApp business platform that allows us to talk to all of our teams at once to not only keep everybody informed, but it's a really fun motivational post when people start new deals, close new deals, walk into a pending. If they've got a special listing that they want to present internally, that's where it should start. And you should absolutely have required meetings for your people to attend so that you don't have any rogue agents running out there causing themselves and causing the team some harm. So make sure that you have these systems in place, you test them constantly, and you question people that aren't using them. Administrative assistant or a coordinator. When your team gets to a point where you cannot handle all of the administrative tasks that the brokerage requires of you to be able to keep your team afloat, you might want to think of hiring an administrative assistant. There's some great TCs out there and some TC companies if that's what you need to do. But if you want to set your team up for success, make absolutely sure you've got someone that understands the paperwork requirements of the brokerage you're working under. Make sure they understand the tools that you're using, and they are making sure to communicate directly with the broker so they don't have to communicate downline through you to get to the other agents that are directly working inside of their organization. A TC can help you and your team be a really attractive lure for recruiting new junior agents. The less they have to learn and the faster they can get out there and sell so that they can trickle in the education rather than hooking up to a fire hose before they can even get their first deal, is a great opportunity for you to be able to leverage some of that personality and the success you're going to bring to the table. This person's primary responsibility for you is going to take the administrative work off of the plate of the entire team. Licensed members of the team can focus on real estate specific tasks. So this is going to help them drive new client relationships, spend more time with their customers, and ultimately close more deals. The work things are going to include like filing, calendar coordination, scheduling communications, handling things when an agent is unable to respond, handling emergency situations where an agent needs coverage, light marketing tasks, some errands, sign placement, sign placement, marketing material deliveries, general office organization. Again, if you're going to go full on team, you need to make absolutely sure you're running it as a business. And don't forget to leverage the business ownership of the brokerage you already work for. They're doing it, and they're doing it at a much larger scale and possibly with multiple teams. This is where you want to be in the future. You should set up a one-on-one with them at minimum every single week so that you can talk about what's going on with your team business and how they can help you and drive some things forward. Chances are they've run into a couple of buses in their day, and they're going to be able to help you see around those corners and help you avoid some pretty serious traffic problems. What do you look for if you decide to go with an administrative assistant or a TC? The ideal candidate, honestly, must have superior organizational skills. They are helpful, they are kind, they are positive, and they don't run around in the background. Nothing is more poisonous to a team that is trying to consistently build than somebody that's a spoiled brat knocking the bricks off of all of your hard work from the bottom up. Do not hire these people. Do not try to fix these people. The second that they are poisonous to your organization, they are poisoning the plan that you have for yourself and your family moving forward on your business. Escort them out. There are plenty of other opportunities out there that can be supportive to that negative statute. Overseas virtual assistants offer really great ROI. If you're short on cash or just want to maximize your profits, consider hiring a virtual assistant outside of your organization or outside of your state. Administrative work for real estate is pretty common on all 50 states, so the paperwork is a lot easier for them to get through and organize the same way, no matter which state or group you might be working in. Please make sure that they also meet with the brokerage at least once a month with you so that they can make sure they're following all the rules and regulations that your broker ownership requires. How do you build out the rest of the team? Once your team starts closing more deals than the agents can handle, it's time to scale. When the team model you choose is going to determine who you should hire next, you're in a great position. General order that I recommend for most teams is buyer's agents. A buyer's agent is a licensed real estate professional who works exclusively with house hunters. Because of how labor intensive the buyer process is, successfully soloing real estate agents is going to allow you to have more buyers in front of you running out of that time during the day. So when you're going to reach the point where you have more buyers than you have time, the buyer's agent is your next hire. What do you want to look for in a buyer's agent? Certainly, we've talked about it in the past, what makes a great agent, but team leaders are going to want to recruit buyer's agents that like to be energetic, that stay organized, and that can keep themselves motivated. Real estate team is best served by a buyer's agent who is quick to follow up on leads. They become your business administrator. They're going to be able to prioritize time. They're not going to be squeamish on the phone when it comes to conversion, prospecting, and client conversations. Make sure whomever you choose for this role is someone that can crush reach out and is going to be able to hit a very high follow-up goals. Transaction coordinator, also a key component to your team. Anybody who's working in real estate knows that the business is going to get divided into two phases, always, the legwork and the paperwork. That's why a transaction coordinator is almost always the perfect hire for a busy team. Not just busy, but closing business busy. Not only is that going to free up the buyer's agent and the listing agents to be able to show more houses and to be able to bring in more conversion, but they're going to help you attract new agents because they are a selling point into why your business model is effective and how the numbers that you are producing is because of the support staff that you bring to the table. It's going to help you. It's going to also help you with dedication, and it's an alluring perk for any agent that has maybe a less than perfect experience background. It's going to help them be able to get to the table faster, close more deals because they're not having to constantly relearn a new system or a new way to do paperwork. The ideal candidate for a TC, they are extremely organized, fantastic communicators, and they're able to manage deadlines instantly. Since the best TCs are those with previous real estate experience, you definitely want to consider an applicant who are former or current assistants on other teams and are ready to simply step it up as a coordinator. Warning. If you are hiring people without real estate experience that are only just highly organized, there is going to be an education gap, an additional level of handholding and support that you need to be ready to give. Remember, your broker owner is allowing you to run this additional team style inside of their business. You still have to meet all of their rules and regulations, and they still have to follow suit with the state and the National Organization for Realtors